Now Thanksgiving is coming up, right? So I know what's coming. You're going to have the family's going to be in. You're going to sit down on the table. You're going to have all this great food. You're going to celebrate being together again. And then somebody, you know who it's going to be, is going to be that guy, and it's take you right down the road to a food fight. Because they're going to start talking about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and rigged systems and bad candidates and who should go to jail and who doesn't pay his taxes. You know it's coming. How do you deal with it? There's enough conflict in our lives. You walk out the door, there's conflict. Now it's coming on the epicenter of a family, of the epicenter of the year when families gather. Maybe you should invite Veronica Sites to dinner, because this lady is a conflict resolution counselor, somebody that can bring peace to troubled families or treat peace to troubled individuals. So when I saw that Veronica was available on this Saturday, I wanted to get her on because I know you're fearing the same things I'm fearing. Let's welcome her into 700 WLW. Veronica, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
There's conflict in everybody's life, right? It doesn't matter whether it's politics. I mean, you literally get up in the morning, somebody will be at odds with you. Am I right on that?
It's unavoidable.
So because of that, we tend to shy away from conflict. I don't know anybody that likes confrontation all that much. I'm sure there are some type A's out there that just revel in things like that, but most of us don't want confrontation. They want peace and tranquility. They want to get through the day and get home at night, have a cocktail, and go to bed. I think that's what most of us want, right?
Exactly. It is. It's what the general public wants. A challenge, and really the hard part about that is what it takes to arrive at that result that we really want. And it gets messy, and sometimes we have to do things and participate in the uncomfortable to get to the place that it is more, not tolerable, but more comfortable and more at peace within you, the individual.
You know, Veronica, I remember when I was a kid, my father's brother Ralph would come over with his family for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. And he loved to needle, and he loved to start a fight. And invariably, the fight was about family and who said what and who's buried where and who's buried now, and all that other nonsense that means nothing. But he was someone that liked to start things like that. I think every family has one of those. So if you know it's coming on Thursday, what can you do to prepare yourself so that you don't fall into that same trap that a lot of us fall into every year?
Well, one of the best things that anybody can do is to really think with the end in mind, and the end being, how do you want the conversation to conclude after you see Uncle Ralph? If you know Uncle Ralph is, got a history of this, then there's probably not much that you can do to change his behavior, but there's certainly a lot that you can do as to when you're going to draw the limits. It's like, okay, I will engage in conversation until, you either experience an escalating in your emotions, or he pushes that button that he knows he's going to get a rise out of normally.
Yeah.
From whichever family member, but choose to disengage at that point and don't play with them.
Yeah.
Because really people with that kind of a habitual behavior, they do like to stir the pot, but the thing is they don't like to get burned.
Yeah, and it's funny, a friend of mine says you have to have a whatever moment. You have to get to a point where it's like, all right, whatever. I'm done with this. And that sounds like you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's a whatever moment in the sense of, whatever Uncle Ralph says, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose to recognize, the good chances are someday down the road, Uncle Ralph isn't going to be walking through the door and needling him, and there might be that moment that we miss him.
Yeah, well, it is. He died like 31 years ago. So it's like, everybody missed him that next year, but dinner was a lot nicer. I mean, be honest with you, and no disrespect to the dead. It was just a lot nicer.
Right, and the thing is, though, I mean, we have the opportunity now, while people are still in the land of the living, to make the choice to respect the way that somebody is that's different. It's not okay that they offend us. but it is okay to choose not to let them take up emotional real estate in our peace of mind and remove ourselves from what begins to escalate in us, where we wind up engaging in the family feud.
Yeah.
You don't want turkey legs flying across the table.
No, we had it 3 years ago. It was horrible. I mean, an entire turkey. But what you're saying is, what I normally do is I will steer the conversation in a different direction, or I will try to say, not do a 180 and go set, but just kind of like just ease it in another direction. Is that good for someone that has that skill? Would you suggest something like that?
It is good to change the subject and explain why you're changing something. You know what? We're not going to go there this time. It's okay for us to have differing opinions, but this Thanksgiving, we're gonna choose to have a little more peace. Because that's a personal choice.
Oh, sure, yeah, and that's what that's I think what you're saying here is self-empowerment. Like, I'm not going to get sucked into this, and okay, if that's what you believe, that's fine, but you take a little bit of control over yourself in the situation. If I'm hearing you correctly, that's what you're saying.
That's exactly correct, because the thing is that nobody likes is the chaos. Okay, we anticipate and we start to get nervous and just stressed over even walking in the door because, whoever, if it's that crazy Aunt Sally that is in the room, you're just on pins and needles until finally, the needling starts. And I was like, there it goes again. Well, there it goes again, but what are you going to do about it this time, right now, in this moment with this situation? Because Aunt Sally hasn't changed, but you have the empowerment within yourself to make the decision to change things for you. And here's the most powerful thing. Yeah. When people model something different, the environment around them takes notice, and most of the time those that are on board with the person making the change will begin to model the same behavior. And sooner or later, the one that is stirring the pot up is going to realize, this isn't so much fun anymore.
Did you grow up in New Jersey? Do I know you? Honest to God, Ralph's wife's name was Sally.
Yeah.
Do I know you? It's true.
We all have somebody like that in our family.
Yeah. I'm guessing. Are you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter.
I can't. It's just, this is for the life of me. I mean, I have a lot of people that I follow and they retweet and all that, and then a lot of people follow me, and who knows where this stuff begins. It just shows up on my Twitter feed. And with this election, which is going to be a hot topic on Thursday at all of these Thanksgiving tables, it's just it's relentless. It's like I was so worn out from it a year ago, and now it's just there, and it's there, and it's there. So let's take Thanksgiving and now apply it to Twitter, which we're all on right now. How do I deal with that? Because a lot of the people that I follow that have opinions about things they're expert on, I appreciate. But yet when they start going off on these rants, these political rants and what have you, and I'm getting all these retweets from the lunatic fringe, how do I deal with that? Is it the same kind of exercise that you're applying with Thanksgiving?
It's the same type of exercise. It's just it's a little bit different. You have to compartmentalize. For example, if you have an expert in sports that you really like following it, and you know that they are the one that you respect in that expertise, give them that space in your psyche, in your mind, in your in your being to follow them. But recognize, it's already stated they're not an expert in everything. Don't let the opinions and other areas of non-expertise, because opinions are completely different than facts. And when we focus on facts and choose to, don't give the opinions the mental and emotional real estate in you that sometimes we do, because we do. We tend to engage in there. It's like, oh, man, I know they don't know. And even if we know, we start to let that get to us. But focus on the fact that knowing that they do have an expertise, you can maintain the respect there, but it doesn't mean you have to give them all this space to keep, if you start seeing the flood of, diatribe on somebody's Twitter, you don't have to follow them on that subject, just, kind of gloss over. It's like, you know what, there they go again.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it's almost like marriage counseling. It's that you have to respect the other person's opinion, but you can't let it shape what your entire life is all about. Give space, listen, understand, communicate, and then, okay, let's move on. That's what it sounds like. That's what you're saying.
Well, it is. And it's, there's three differentiating things. Opinions, they change from person to person. You're not going to be able to change somebody else's opinion for them. Facts, they don't change. They might have a different perspective from you to me, but the facts remain the same. Now, truth, however people handles it, it's true to whatever the situation is. For example, if that Uncle Ralph was a needler and this is behavior. The fact is, there's nothing you can do about his behavior. However, the truth is, in you have the ability to make the choice. You have the power to create some, boundaries as far as saying, Uncle Ralph, we're not going there. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
You can say we, but then you have to specify, I am not going there this time.
Right. Veronica, I think you might be in demand Thursday. Can people invite you over to their house for Thanksgiving dinner? Are you available for hire on Thursday?
I have job security right now, but definitely I do coaching. They can find me at conflictresolutionspeaker.com. And yeah, I've been very busy, and the best piece of gold nugget I can give somebody is get the book, Conflict Resolution Solutions. It's a great stocking stuffer. Conflict
Resolution Solutions, and you can find that, I'm guessing, on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or all these bookstores, right? Can they find it on your website, too?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that would be conflictresolutionspeaker.com. Is that where it is?
That's that's the website.
Just delightful. Thank you, Veronica. We really appreciate your time. I'm feeling a little bit better about Thursday already.
All right. Cheers. Have a good one.
Thank you. Here she goes, Veronica Sites. You don't have to go down that road. You don't have to participate in that conversation. When they start talking about Trump did this, Hillary belongs in jail, nobody paid their taxes, everybody's crooked, go get the Cool Whip for the pumpkin pie. Just don't do it. It's 2:20 on this Saturday afternoon. I am the placid, serene, totally in command, and focused on Thanksgiving Ken Brew. On this 50,000-watt mother flamethrower, the voice of the UC Bearcats, whom are straight ahead when they take on Rhode Island, not just the school, the entire state, on 700 WLW.